Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my first impressions look on the Jordan Zoom Separate. So this is Luka Doncic's kind of signature shoe. Not really, it's kind of like how the Superfly was for Blake Griffin. It wasn't really a signature shoe, but he kind of like endorsed it, right? So same thing with that. I mean, I wonder when Luka's gonna get his own shoe. Because like, you know, Zion already has his own shoe, and also Jason Tatum, you know? Obviously it wasn't in their contract right away for them to get their like signature shoe, but I mean, I feel like they deserve it a little bit more than Zion at this point, right? And I feel like they'll sell a good amount of shoes as well. I don't know what Jordan Brand is doing, but I guess it's good to start somewhere with Luka, and I guess Jason Tatum's kind of just wearing the Jordan 36, kind of like the main signature shoe for Jordan Brand, right? So the Zoom Separate is going for 110 bucks, which is a very, very good price. Pretty much budget price actually, and there are two colorways available, this one and then the black and white one with some red accents, which I feel like looks a little bit better than this colorway. I probably should have gotten it, just in my personal opinion, but anyways, if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But let's get started off with the Tracciones, and in this colorway we have a lot of colors, and the entire outsole is pretty much a solid rubber outsole, which is good. And here in the forefoot, as you guys can see, we have an oval shape, a very long oval shape. And there is a zoom unit here in the forefoot, and I thought maybe it was the shape of this, but I'm guessing that it's not, but we'll get into that. So here in this circle, we have some herringbone. And there are a lot of grooves, which of course does increase the surface area, so I feel like durability will be good. The rubber is very hard here where the circle is, and also the rubber is very hard around the circle as well. Like this entire outsole has very hard rubber. There's a lot of grooves, so I feel like outdoor use is going to be good. And also, like I said, it's a relatively cheap shoe, so outdoor use should be fine. Also, just from my first impressions, trying it on my wood floors, the stop seems pretty damn good, and there is a nice little squeak to it as well. So I'm liking that so far. It does seem to be picking up a little bit of dust. I mean, my dogs are shedding, so there's a lot of dust and hair, like dog hair on the floor, and it's picking that up. So hopefully it's not terrible on the dusty court, but of course I'll have to test that out. But you know, I'm pretty damn excited about the traction pattern. It seems like it's gonna be a very nice performer, but of course there are two things about it, right? So first of all, this circle does protrude out. There's a close-up shot that I try to do, so it does protrude out a little bit. So it when you kind of like wear the shoe, you can feel it teetering on that circle a little bit. It reminds you guys remember the Kyrie Flytrap 2, I believe it was? It reminds me of that a little bit, but it teeters a little bit more. And I don't think it's gonna be a huge deal, it just does it very, very subtly. But I like the feeling here on like the medial side, right? So coupling that with the little baby outsole curvature that the shoe has, it feels very nice. It reminds you a lot of like Kyrie's, you know what I mean? With the outsole curvature, and it kind of like makes me want to stay on like the balls of my feet on the medial side, right? So that's good, but one thing that does worry me is, what about the lateral side? How is the lateral stability gonna be? Because this foam is quite soft, and it also teeters this way. You know what I mean? Not only does it teeter this way, it teeters this way a little bit. So I'm a little worried about lateral stability, but overall, I do like the teetering a little bit, and I do like the outsole curvature. So just from my first impression standpoint, it's not a huge deal right now, but of course, I'm gonna need to fully test that. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, it feels extremely nice in the shoe. I really like it. So here in the heel, we have a very curved shape, and also look at that, fully exposed midsole. It says it's dual density, which we'll get into, but pretty much it has a good amount of compression here in the heel, which feels nice. And then here in the forefoot, we have a very curved shape. Look at that, super curved, and also a good amount of forefoot flex, right? So heel to toe transition seems very, very smooth right now. I really like it. And also in the middle of the outsole, we can see the midfoot chain plate. It's just a plastic piece, and it kind of gets exposed here on the lateral side and also on the medial side of the shoe. And also there is a red Jordan Jumpman logo on the plastic midfoot chain plate. All right, now moving on to the cushioning setup. So like I mentioned before, it is a dual density setup. I'm guessing it's just Phylon, right? It says dual density right here, I believe. Right? Where does it say it? Yeah, it says dual density right here. And in their tech specs, it says that the foam around the perimeter of the cushion is a little bit stiffer than the cushion in the core, just for added stability, which obviously that does make sense, right? But like just feeling it with my finger and pushing it, it's still pretty soft, and I really like it because the foam is soft. You know, so I wouldn't say it's like too soft or anything. It doesn't feel unstable right now. but there is a good amount of compression here in the heel and it feels nice. And like I mentioned, there is a good amount of compression here in the forefoot as well. It is a little bit caged, I guess, right, from this the rubber outsole coming up a little bit, but yeah, there's a good amount of compression. I like it. Core feel seems pretty good. It's not crazy good, I would say, you know, because I've been playing in the Harden Volume 6 and those shoes are freaking low to the ground. And also the D-Rose 1.5, those are really low to the ground. So kind of like switching off, wearing like the Harden Volume 6 and this one feels a little bit higher up off the ground, but also I wouldn't say it's terrible. So I do like the compression here in the heel, and also there is a zoom unit in the forefoot, right? So first of all, the insole is pretty nice actually. It's a pretty thick Orsolite insole, and there is a little bit of compression, feels nice. It does improve the step and comfort, but underneath that we do have a strobo board, and the strobo board is kind of stiff, you know, especially here in the heel. So that kind of sucks, but I took out the insole and I looked like in the forefoot, and there are some holes. And there's holes throughout the entire forefoot, and I'm guessing the zoom unit is pretty much the entire forefoot here. And the zoom unit feels pretty nice. Obviously, there's not as much compression as like a full-length zoom strobo unit or the zoom strobo unit in the forefoot that's found in the Kyrie 8, right? But there is a little bit of compression. It still feels a little stiff right now, just because, you know, probably that strobo board there. But hopefully when I break it in and start to playing it, it does get bouncier, but I can still feel it. It bulges up a little bit as well. So the zoom unit is still pretty apparent there. But overall, I'm liking the cushioning setup so far, you know, pretty good court feel. Good compression here in the heel so far, and I feel like the zoom unit is going to be nice. Alright, moving on to the materials. So here in the toe box, I actually really like this material. So it's kind of like a textile material, and there is a little bit of stretch to it, which I like. It's not too stretchy to the point where it feels unsupportive, but there is a little bit of stretch to it. It kind of feels like a cloth almost, right? There's a little bit of fuse here for extra added durability and support, of course, here on the lateral side. But overall, look at how thin it is. It's super thin. It conforms to your foot very, very well. And I really miss this type of material, you know what I mean? So this material is stretchy on top of your foot, like kind of like on top of your toes. And I really, really like that feeling, just in my personal opinion. I feel like some people might not, you know, if you want something a little bit more supportive, but I really like it. And you don't really need a whole lot of support here, like on top of your foot, in my opinion, right? And then moving up here into the midfoot area, we can see it looks kind of like a neoprene material, but it's not. I would say it's more like a polyester nylon type of material. It's very, very supportive, and it goes where like you need support, right? So if you look on the lateral side, you don't really need support all too much, especially for lateral movements here, like where the softer material is. So that's why I don't mind the softer material here in the toe box. And then here in the midfoot is where the supportive material is. But also it's still very, very thin. Look at that. Just like in the midfoot, it's extremely, extremely thin. And then for the tongue, there's a very minimal amount of padding. Like very, very minimal for the tongue. And also this tongue, it's not a half booty construction tongue, but this tongue is connected to this nylon material. This is all just one piece, which is supposed to improve the overall one-to-one fit as well. And then moving here into the ankle area, there is a lot of padding, which I like. Here in the back of the ankle and also on the sides, there's a good amount of padding. It reminds me a little bit of the Kyrie 8. I would actually say, yeah, I would say there's pretty much just as much padding here, which is kind of crazy. So it feels very nice and cozy here in the ankle area and super minimal here in the midfoot. But then once you get into the forefoot, it's also still super minimal, but then very, very comfortable as well with this stretchy type of materials. So overall, I really like the materials and how it feels on foot. As far as the quality goes, I mean, it's not the best. I mean, the textile material, I definitely don't mind it, but the nylon material and also like the material here for the eyelets isn't the best, but you know, it's 110 bucks. Not a huge deal in my opinion. And then of course here in the heel, we have an external TPU heel counter. So there is the materials there. Moving on to the fit. So the fit is very, very nice, like super nice for me personally. So it's a very, very snug fit. I went true to size and my toes go right to the edge of the shoe, which feels very nice. Here in the toe box is a nice snug fit, and width-wise, I would say it's slightly narrow. So perfect for me. Of course, if you don't like to have a snug fit, then probably go up half a size. I feel like most people should be good going true to size if you don't mind like an extra snug fit, but I feel like, you know, this textile material will definitely loosen up a little bit over time, just because it's not glued down really at all either. But of course, if you want a super roomy fit or you have a wide foot, probably go up half a size or maybe even a full size. Also, another thing about the laces, here for the first two eyelets, the laces go directly through the upper, as you guys can see. It's kind of like the Yeezy lacing system a little bit. And then for the last couple of eyelets, we have 2 rows of eyelets, where if you want the fit to be a little bit tighter, you can put the laces through the furthest eyelet and then get a little bit more of a snug fit here, kind of like, I guess, on top of your foot in the ankle area, if you would like. So that's a nice little bonus there. All right, moving on to the support and lockdown. I feel like it'll be good, you know. So for lateral containment, the foam does come up a good amount here in the forefoot, here in the midfoot, and also here in the heel. We have an external TPU heel counter, so lateral containment seems like it's going to be very, very good. Lateral stability, like I said, I don't really know. So it is a very wide base. As you guys can see, it does protrude out a good amount as far as the foam and rubber outsole goes. It does protrude out here, but the foam is kind of soft, you know, and the teetering. So we'll have to see how the lateral stability is. And also, like I said, there is a good amount of compression here in the heel. There's not a whole lot of caging, so I am a little bit worried about lateral stability. And now moving on to the weight of the shoe. This feels like a very, very lightweight shoe. I'm guessing like 11 ounces. Super light. Oh, 12.2 ounces. So a little bit lighter than average. Let's check the left pair, 12.24 ounces. So basically the same weight for both the left and right pairs. So yeah, 12.2 ounces isn't super light, but it's a little bit lighter than average. And yeah, it feels extremely minimal on foot, but still cozy somehow because of this foam here in the ankle area. And yeah, I like the overall feeling of the shoe so far. It feels very, very smooth. I like the overall feeling and shape of the sole as well. And cushion feels nice. Materials feel very minimal. So I'm liking the overall feeling of the shoe so far. Moving on to the aesthetics, I love it. You know, I feel like this is a very, very good looking shoe. It's a little unorthodox, as in like, you know, it just looks kind of weird, just different. You know, different. Weird is kind of like negative, I would say, but it looks a little bit different than like most shoe designs. But I like that, you know, and also the colorways that have come out, it looks great on foot. And some of Luka's PEs have been really cool as well. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, 110 bucks has Jordan Brand given us another shoe that can perform well for a very good price. I feel like they did. I'm really liking how it feels so far. Of course, I haven't played it yet, but just how it feels on foot right now and just like walking around in it, it feels very, very nice. So I'm very excited to try it out, and my first impressions are awesome. So anyways, that about concludes this video. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.